Hey LFA, I am Nellie and I am so excited to finally make this video just for you. I decided to use my winter break to really think this through and think about what type of wisdom I could impart to a planning class. And I felt really contradictory about this because when I think of planning and having a class for planning, it makes me uncomfortable to think that we're trying to plan our lives, and I think it should be called something more like how to strategize around opportunities that come your way or potential events that might happen in your life. I don't think you can really plan your life. You can really only live it. So that's my disclaimer to say that you should only take whatever you want out of this video. Take it with a grain of salt. I am still 21. I am always making mistakes every single day of my life. So there's that. And I think the second thing too I felt a little bit uncomfortable about was that I'm not actually an LFA alum. I attended LFA from grades 8 to 11, and then I thought I would graduate from LFA, but then my dad got a job offer in the States that he couldn't turn down, and I wanted him to get the job. So I said, hey, I don't really know where I'm going for college. I might as well go to the States with you, since I do plan on, I had plans to attend college in the States. I wasn't that solidified yet. When he got the job offer, I thought it was a sign from God that maybe I was meant to leave Vancouver and have this unconventional start to my senior year. So the traditional alum, in the sense, I call myself this unconventional alum with strong LFA ties, because LFA gave me such a strong foundation to my faith and to my academic career, and it's helped me so much with college. So when I started thinking about, well, what's this overall message I want to give to these juniors or seniors, I started thinking about this one word that I've been obsessing over for the past few weeks. And this word I've been obsessing over is commitment. And obsession is a really unhealthy word to use, to think, but it's the most relevant word I could think about to explain how this word has consumed my life for the past 3 weeks, because it's almost similar to how people have crushes on celebrities. I don't have any, but this word is commitment, and it presents so much of a promise and a challenge to do better in life, or I think to do better for oneself. And I can't stop thinking about it, because I think when we usually consider commitment, we think about it in terms of relationships, how commitment is the glue that holds people together. But no one talks about commitment to the self, and how the only way you can really love other people and put yourself into your work and into your soul, really, to have this holistic feeling that people crave for, you can only have that if you love yourself. And no one talks about this radical self-love. When we think of commitment, we think of this is the together forever type of deal, but why not first think about it in terms of together forever with yourself, finding that contentment, finding that inner peace, or finding that inner light, and then we can move on to kind of finding that inner light with someone else. My 2 cents on why I am obsessing over commitment, because having a very interesting career move from Vancouver to the United States, and then having to be the new girl twice. So I was a new girl twice in my senior year at Cardinal McCarrick High School in New Jersey, and also when I attended freshman year college at Pace University. It really brought out a lot of new experiences and feelings for me, especially because I did a lot of moving throughout the years, and moving taught me that nothing is static, and the only way that I could really stay grounded in myself was to be happy with myself. And I am very good at lying to myself, I realize. So hence this obsession and my current love for the word commitment. That's where it's all coming from, because I think attending college made me realize that I don't have a really good foundation of commitment to myself. It's something that I'm still working on, and I think it's honestly something that you'll work on for the rest of your life. And then I think the second part to it, where I think about, well, how does commitment to others come in? I started thinking about how my faith has been really shaken throughout this entire time. I identify as a Catholic, but I like to joke that I am a terrible Catholic, but I really am a terrible Catholic because I've kind of strayed away a bit, and not in the sense that I don't believe in God anymore, more in the sense that I'm struggling to come to terms with my Catholic responsibilities in attending Mass, reading the Bible every day, just trying to come closer to God, because I feel like I am distant from Him right now. And I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm actually nerve-wracking to admit that, because this is a Catholic high school, and it's not that I've given up, but at the same time it makes me really vulnerable. But I wanted this video to be candid and honest and real. And this is the realest I'm ever going to get with my faith, really. Besides confession, because confession is very honest. But yeah, so commitment to the self is what I would say the college life is about. You are tested on so many different things. College is a make it or breaking point between this is who you want, or this is who you want to be, or should I major in this, should I major in that? And I'm going to do my best to answer the Miss Matosian's 9 big questions. So here we go. What do you wish you knew before you left high school? Honestly, nothing. Everything happens for a reason, and I think having to know too much about college before you go to college doesn't really help. I honestly felt that it added more anxiety to my pre-summer before college, when I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to a new school again, I'm going to be the new girl, and I have all of this wisdom on my shoulders, I still don't know how to execute. Whatever happens in your life happens for a reason. I call it fate, some call it God's will. I think it's about having an open mind it's about having an open mind and embracing whatever happens to you. If you know too much about the journey before the actual adventure happens, then that sucks. It's boring, and you don't want that. That's not what college is about. So I really wouldn't have I guess you could say, relived my high school experience and asked for more wisdom, because I think that would have ruined it for me. You should be hungry and you should be foolish to make mistakes. You should crave failure and crave rejection, crave being crazy about living your college life, and especially to get the bang for your buck, because you pay a lot of money to be in college, and your education is a privilege. So I wouldn't wish for anything else to have known anything. I'm happy with how my high school career was, because it gave me enough to really push myself to explore my potential, to see what I had to offer as a college student. And I think in terms of commitment, going back to my favorite word, it really built me up. College built me up to be committed to myself and to follow my dreams, and not to listen to anyone else, not to listen to the naysayers, not to listen to my parents who want me to become, lawyers because they want to work in the nonprofit sector one day, and to really follow my heart and listen to whatever signs there are pointing me, guiding me to wherever my main destiny is supposed to be. I studied political science and women gender studies, so I basically double major in politics and feminism, my two favorite things in the entire world. And I have a minor in peace and justice studies. Oh, but I go to Peace University in New York City. It's a school right next to the Brooklyn Bridge. And in terms of how those two majors have shaped my experiences, I do a lot of social justice activism on different causes, but the one cause I'm really dedicated towards is ending sexual violence. And I hope to someday work in the nonprofit sector, doing some type of advocacy or development work in that field. And a lot of the extracurricular activities that I've done so far have guided me onto that path. So I had an internship with a local nonprofit called the Domestic Violence Project at Urban Justice Center. I was a development intern, and I did a lot of fundraising and event planning for their annual gala. That was fun, but it was too businessy for me, so over the summer and last semester I took a break and I decided to become a hotline advocate. So I would take in calls from clients, potential clients who would call in. They would ask, oh, we need these services, do you have lawyers, do you have therapists on hand, I need to speak to a counselor. There'd be so many different people, males, females, LGBTQ individuals calling me over the phone, and it was my job to one, do a 30-minute intake with them, basically getting crucial information I would need to pass on to whoever I would have to connect them to, and then two, follow up with them to make sure they got the help that they needed. Because there's something about what a lot of people don't know about the nonprofit sector is that there's more people who actually need help, and there are enough people who can actually give them that help. So being a hotline advocate it's been a lot. It's been really overwhelming, but it's also been really rewarding because I think it really gave me a tie. It gave me some type of sign to know that this is the type of work I want to do. Not exactly forever being a hotline advocate, but working directly with clients in some type of vicinity, in some type of area. And besides doing kind of the actual like nonprofit business work, the other parts of my experience have to do a lot with grassroots organizing. So I run an organization called Peace to Enrave. It's my baby. I co-founded it with two of my other best friends. And what we do is that we do a lot of programming awareness on the Pace University campus to end sexual assault. So we host weekly student meetings. We do activist events such as we do courtyard sit-ins, do demo marches in the cafeteria. We do a lot of like campaign awareness raising on student policies, the resources that we need, what Pace students want the school to give them in terms of sexual assault resources, because it's not easy to have the type of dialogue at school because students are, are naturally distrustful of the administration. So there has to be some type of, Pace hasn't had that type of student group to really advocate for it until we made the organization 2 years ago. So Pace to Enrave is literally my baby because I'm growing the same way that it's growing, and it's probably honestly one of my favorite college experiences, even though Pace to Enrave is also a full-time job, because I'm one of the student leaders for it, and it consumes your life to the point where I've had to sacrifice having a personal life. I still have one, it's just very limited and very small in terms of the number of people that I see. But Pace to Enrave has definitely been part of this growth I've had in discovering that I need a better commitment to the self, and to figuring out that I had to cut out some of my extracurricular activities to make room for Pace to Enrave, because that's how much it really means to me. Like, Pace to Enrave really means more to me than any of the other extracurricular activities I've done in the past. Before, I used to be really involved with Generation Citizen. They are a local nonprofit who basically they send college students like me into high school or middle school classrooms in New York City. And what you do as a student volunteer for them is that you act as a democracy coach. So I've gone in as a democracy coach, and I had to work with a class for one semester and basically teach them grassroots organizing, but for high school students. And that was hard. It wasn't easy. And I was also really lucky to get a class that actually wanted to listen to me. I was really terrified the first day that they would throw pencils at me and walk me out of their room. But it worked out in the end that these kids actually wanted to talk to me. They actually, for some miracle, they respected me and my opinions. And they were really interested in the anti-rape activism work that I did at school. So they were inspired to make their own anti-rape education curriculum at their school. So that was their project that they made and they advocated for. And something that I didn't know until over the summer was that their constant advocacy for having an actual curriculum, that week-long curriculum on educating people on anti-rape awareness and sexual assault resources, it became implemented into their official school sexual health curriculum, and it was officially taught last semester. So that's another highlight from my junior year. I did that last year, so I don't know, like there are so many experiences that I go back on when I think about all the extracurricular activities I did and how there were times I did overextend myself. But I also think that since everything happens for a reason, it proves that commitment to the self is all you have left at the end of the day. And it's that force that's driving you to follow your dreams, pursue your goals, and figure out what is it that you really want. Like, why did you join this club? Because I'm not saying that it's wrong to join like a million clubs, but you can join a million clubs and feel completely unattached to all of them. Or you can join select clubs and then find those clubs that really shape your soul, and then you feel a part of something bigger. That's the type of feeling you have to get when you join a club on campus. And yeah, you may not realize it until halfway through the semester, or you may not feel that you really want to be connected to that club, but that's the joy of college. You can change your mind every single time, and you are entitled to it. You don't have to be committed to a club for 1 year. If you don't like it, you can walk out the door anytime. That's the point of college too. You make mistakes and you walk out as soon as you realize you weren't meant to be where you're meant to be. You have to trust your instinct. And the only way that you can trust your instinct is if you have this deep sense of self that radiates within you, and you have faith that everything will work out, even if you know that you're making. Even if you feel like people are judging you for what you're doing. You can only be happy with the decisions that you make if you truly feel that they're the right decisions in your heart. And that's what commitment to the self is. Choosing to love yourself for all the wrong choices, all the mistakes, all the stupid things you do at 2 a.m. in the morning, because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. So for me, like that, those experiences are kind of just like scratch entry level diary accounts of some of the things I've done in my college career, because I've done a lot and I like to keep busy. But I mean, I've also had things that didn't work out. Like I wanted to start a PR firm with my best friend, and then we couldn't work that out because I was way too busy with my social justice work to realize that I couldn't give up that social justice work. And it took a while to even have that honest conversation with her. So be super mindful that even though I'm sharing the joys of my college career, there are a lot of like low points too, and that I often have to make sacrifices between doing for things that I love. But I don't regret any of it. I really don't. And it's kind of cool to do this video because I'm self-reflecting upon my new semester coming into my new semester that's going to happen in a few days. I'm going to be a second semester senior, and I'm pursuing a 5-year master's program, so I'm actually not graduating, but there's still this feeling of you are a second semester senior and you have to be a boss this semester. So there's a lot of expectation and hope in the air, I think, when you have commitment to the self, because you are holding yourself accountable to getting stuff done. And in terms of how that relates to my faith, so J29:11, Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is one of my favorite Bible verses. One day I'm going to get it tattooed over here somewhere on my wrist as a constant reminder that there is a bigger plan out there for me, because I firmly believe that we are all specks of little dust. From dust we are, from dust you shall return. At least that's a paraphrased version of the Bible quote that we know. And when I think about that deeper in terms of commitment to my faith and commitment to others, I really think about how I am one individual. I have my own stories that I carry with me, and all the actions that I do, the thoughts that I come up with, whatever I produce into this world, either through my social justice activism or through the art pieces that I still continue to make up until this day, there is a meaning to it and there is a purpose to it. So don't ever disregard the small actions that you do, because they impact someone, they impact people, and that's a domino effect you're not in control of. You are responsible to doing good deeds, but I don't think we really consider how our good deeds affect the world on a wider basis. So I decided that I wanted to end this video on a lighter note, because I gave you a lot of heavy personal wisdom that you probably need to digest, or maybe you need to play this video again because I didn't make any sense the first time. And that's happened before, so I wouldn't be offended. But some random facts about me are I am currently in love. The book I'm in love with right now is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If you have not read it, you need to read it. It is a must read. You need to put that on your to-do list, the top of your to-do reading list, besides all the other homework that you have from school. Read that book. My favorite food is vegetarian pizza from any local pizza place Basically, there are so many pizza places in New York City. I know them off by heart now. The 3 words I use to identify myself are feminist, activist, and Batwoman. I call myself Batwoman because Batman is my hubby, so we're currently engaged, and he's ultimately, as you can tell, my favorite superhero. And I think now that I've stalled about giving a goodbye message or a farewell message, what I want you to take away from this video that I made on the spot, really nothing scripted besides me just listing down the questions and having them on a piece of paper to make sure that I would answer them correctly. I want you to realize that when it comes to leaving high school and you're graduating and you're saying goodbye to people, or you're just saying farewell, I'll see you soon, the only math you're ever going to need to take away from high school is hard work and perseverance equals success. And that success is defined by your terms. It's not defined by anyone else's. So it's objective to anyone else's opinion. It can change. You can change your definition of success anytime you want to, because you have a brain and you are all intelligent, beautiful women. I don't need a picture for that. I don't need to hear testimonies from your teachers about that. You all carry intelligence and beauty externally and internally, and you have to believe in that. Don't let some random boy who you used to date or who you want to date make you feel so otherwise, or don't let anyone who becomes your potential partner let you tell you otherwise, because you have a brain, you go to LFA, and you have amazing people surrounding you right now. So remember that hard work and perseverance equals success defined by your terms, and no one else can define it for you. The only English you're actually ever going to need, besides what you learned in school, but my one-liner for English classes and what I've taken away is that 1, always have an opinion, 2, learn how to defend that opinion, and 3, learn how to argue for the sake of trying to hear the other person. Because I think the interesting thing about the work I do with activism is that all these different activist groups I work with, we are all trying to make a point, but it's always hard for us to hear each other, to really hear where we're coming from and why we're saying things. So make sure you keep those analytical skills strong, because conversations are happening every second of the day, and you don't want to miss out on amazing people, or you don't want problems to increase just because you misheard, like you don't listen properly to someone, or you're not reading someone's body language, or you're not interpreting what the written word is saying to you. So always have an opinion, back it up, and know how to listen and what the person is really trying to say to you. Try to figure that out. Because at the end of the day, your communication skills are what you have left when all the screens are turned off and we're turned away from social media. And I really hope we do have a day when we realize that we should just have a no social media day. If there's a National Pizza Day, then there should be a no social media day. That should become a thing, in my humble opinion. And my third bit of nugget for wisdom, I guess, is always thank the people who help you. I think the most difficult thing, I wanted to mention every single person who helped me along the way into becoming the senior that I am today. The university senior who finally feels more confident than I've ever felt before. And I've never really felt this way. It's taken a while for me to feel this way before. So I'm very open and vulnerable to admitting that to you, and that's a huge deal for me. It's a huge deal for me to make this video at this point in my life where I can actually say I'm finally confident and happy in my abilities. And that goes back to thanking people who have helped you, because these people shape you, and these are often the people who you don't realize are standing right next to you, or friendships or friends who have really been there for everything, and you take it for granted that you know that that person will pick up your 2 a.m. phone call and listen to you cry over a broken heart or over homework, or complain about the amount of university application works you have to do. Think about the people who've never given up hope in you and who always show you that there is there's a bigger picture out there and it's waiting for you. There's a bigger thing, or there's a better someone at the end of the rainbow. And rainbows are very symbolic to me, which is why I use that comparison. I think there's always something better. If something that you work doesn't work out, there are 2 things that you can do. You can fight for it, or you can bow down gracefully and then work your ass off to prove that you deserve it. Those are the only 2 options that you have. I don't believe in giving up. I don't believe in saying, oh, it wasn't meant to be. Okay, So there is a slight chance that it wasn't meant to be, but I don't think you can say that until you really exhaust yourself and to proving that you really can do that. So 3 things. The only math is hard work and perseverance equals success. The only English you'll need, have an opinion, defend it, listen to people and what they're really trying to say. And the 3rd thing, always thank people for being there for you and remember them. And in terms of commitment, my favorite word of the moment and the whole theme of this video is remember to stay committed to yourself and to your dreams and to don't hesitate in making the first move. Stay committed, and commitment is a choice, and you can only move forward if you are willing to make the choice to be committed to yourself. Don't forget that, ever. I love you all. Okay, I forgot to include one important detail in my last message to all of you. Take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down mvagbulos@gmail.com. That's my personal email. I don't freely give that information out to everyone, so I'm sharing it with you because if you have more questions about the feminist activist work I do, what I exactly study in college, since I couldn't go in depth about that, you can email me. Email me anything. If you want to just talk about life or you just want to have a Skype chat, I am so down to having Skype chat with you. I like having coffee with strangers. I do that on a daily basis. Not really safe for me, but it's always been fun. And I'd love to hear more from you.